Today is Wednesday, the 25th of October, 2017. I'm Keith Warr, and welcome to another episode of Homeless in Titusville. And today I'm being joined by, what is your name, sir?
William Gibbs.
William Gibbs.
Yes.
And how do you spell that?
Well, first name William, last name Gibbs, Gibbs.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 42.
You're 42 years old. And you're homeless here on the streets of Titusville, Florida.
Correct.
Are you from here? Were you born and raised here?
No, I'm originally from Indiana, Bedford, raised in Black Mountain, North Carolina. Lived here a few years ago.
What years did you live here?
I got married here back in 2006 out there on that pier.
On the pier that's now destroyed
right.
from the hurricane.
And I left in 2012, went back home to try to rekindle a relationship with my family, but that didn't turn out very well. Decided to come back here because this is where me and my wife used to come and watch the rockets go up, sit and have a good time.
So, are you still married? What happened with the wife?
We lost her to breast cancer.
And when did that happen?
Let's see, 2014, so not very long ago.
So, you were married, and then almost immediately she was diagnosed with breast cancer?
Correct. She went in every 3 months to get her regular checkups, and they found a little spot, and next 3 months she went in, it just spread throughout her body, so it really wasn't a chance. You know, I just didn't expect it to take her so quick.
How old was she?
35.
35. And what was her name? What was
Michelle.
Michelle what? What was her last name
Gibbs,
before?
Yeah.
Well, before she married you.
Oh, Marion. Michelle Marion. Yeah.
And was she from Titusville, or
Yes.
where was she from? She was.
Yes.
So did she go to high school here?
I think she did. I'm not quite. She never really discussed her education with me, so I never brought it up.
So you don't know how many years she lived here?
Most of her life, I think she's lived here. Her parents are here. I don't know if they're still here now, but.
So some of the people watching this video, do you think that some of the people who may see this might know you or might have known her?
I'd like to hope so.
And the two of you guys didn't have any kids?
No.
And how long did you guys date before you were married?
Oh God, maybe 2 years.
And how did you meet?
On a dating site.
On a dating site? Tinder?
POF.
POF.
Yeah.
Oh, plenty of fish,
yeah.
huh? So is that one of those ones where you swipe left or right or whatever?
Yeah, I was kind of leery about it at first because a lot of the dating sites are just full of fakes and scammers,
right?
And this and that and the other. And I had a really good friend of mine. Oh man, you got to check it out. I mean, at least give it a chance. I'm like, okay, so I put myself out there, and that's how it came to be.
So you met a good girl out of this.
She
got lucky.
Wonderful. She was wonderful.
And she didn't have any previous children?
No.
She wasn't married before or anything like that? So tell me a little bit about your life with her. Like, what kind of work did she work? Did she stay at home?
She was in healthcare, worked a lot at nursing homes, did a lot of volunteer work at children's hospitals, in-home healthcare programs, just all kind of things. She was the type of person that would put others before herself, you know. It didn't matter the situation or how she was feeling. She was just that type of person, and that's what I loved about her, and still do. I wish she was here. And
where's she buried? Is she buried
at the local cemetery
here in Titusville?
Yeah. Memorial Gardens off of Garden Street. Yeah.
So that had to have been a little tough to leave Titusville when you had left her here.
It was very tough. I had there for a good while. You know, I had my bouts with marijuana and alcohol, and she'd always tried to get me to stop. Just all out cared about me and took care of me in every way possible. So I think I owe her that much, and I know she'd be proud of me today if she was sitting here, because it's been almost 10 years since I've had a drink or any type of drug put in my body,
and yet you still find yourself homeless, because most of the time, most of the stories the guys are telling me is they're homeless as a result of being an alcoholic or something.
In a lot of cases, that's true. Right.
So, well, let me ask you this. So, in your heart of hearts, when you're talking to yourself and you're being honest, and you say to yourself, what do you say to yourself is your reason for being homeless? Why are you homeless right now?
Just a stroke of bad luck. The place I was working for went out of business. I couldn't afford to pay my rent, any other bills.
Well, what business were you working for?
It was a place called J&L Construction. I was just doing labor work, construction cleanup.
And how much were you making an hour?
Like $8.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
And how much was rent?
Rent was almost $600.
On $8 an hour,
Yeah.
Oh my God!
It was hard. I didn't know from one month to the next if my electric was going to get shut off or where my next meal was coming from.
But you just kept plugging away, going to work, thinking things would get better.
Yes, and people would always ask me, well, how do you keep such a positive attitude during bad times? And I always tell people, because if I don't keep positive, it's just as good as giving up, and that's not something I'm willing to do. That's just me. I got to keep striving, do the footwork. Not going to sit around and just have things expect to be handed to me. That's not the way it works.
Right, yeah. So what happened to the little bit of things that you did have? I'd imagine you had a little bit of furniture, a bed to sleep on, things like that. What happened to all your belongings when you became homeless?
I gave it away or just left it, gave it to people that needed it, donated a lot of it.
And where was that you became homeless?
Here in Titusville.
So your last address was here in Titusville. You just became homeless here. And how long had you been back here in Titusville working and stuff?
I've been homeless now for a little over a week. Back, I think, since this past Monday, before last. That's when I'd lost my job and everything. And I didn't know what to do, didn't know who to talk to, which way to turn. So now I'm just dealing with it the best way I know how. I try to keep my appearance up, keep myself clean in case I do find work.
Well, you're kind of limited. You don't have a vehicle. You said you've never had a driver's license.
I haven't had a driver's license in 42 years, my whole life. I'd love the opportunity to get one.
But you do have a state ID.
Yes, I have a social security card and everything. And
so I would imagine if you've never had a license, you don't have any DUIs?
No, not at all.
You don't have any parking tickets?
Nothing like that.
How about a criminal record? Have you ever been arrested?
Never. I value my freedom too much, and getting in trouble these days, you can't really afford it. It's easy to get into, but hard to get out of.
So you're not a convicted felon?
No.
You don't drink or drug?
Not at all.
And yet you still find yourself homeless?
I do.
It seems to me that nowadays most people don't make a living wage.
No, it's
because when you were making $8 and you were paying that nearly $600, there wasn't enough money to put into a savings account.
It
was not.
I would save up 2 pays. I would get paid every 2 weeks, and I would save up 2 paychecks, and that was just barely enough to cover my rent. I just didn't make a whole lot, but I worked hard.
Well, what was the situation where you were paying rent? Were you renting a room? Was it a whole house? Was it an apartment?
I was renting
an efficiency? So you were renting a room from somebody.
Yeah.
So that $600 included what? Probably your water, your
electric,
and
food,
cable, food.
Yeah.
So you just had to provide your own food.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I still went half on all the bills and everything, so that we could try to keep it on.
And how about those people today? Are those people homeless too?
The last time I saw them, it's probably been maybe 2 years ago. I don't even know if they're still in Titusville anymore. I know that.
Well, that seems a little confusing to me, because you said you just became homeless a week or so ago, but yet you were living with them paying $600.
Yeah,
so
when I was here years ago, when me and my wife was here.
Okay, but this time when you just became homeless the past 2 weeks here.
No sign of nobody.
Where were you living before you just became homeless just now?
In Black Mountain, North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that clears things up a little for me. So you were living in Black Mountain, North Carolina, and how long had you lived there?
I'd say maybe a year and a half before I came back here.
So you'd only been away from Titusville for a year and a half,
right,
trying to make a living up there.
Right. it's starting to snow up there and get pretty cold, and you got to really know how to survive up in those mountains during harsh winters, and that was something I can't do that. I can't do that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. How did you get from North Carolina to Titusville?
Through the help of a church. They helped me with a bus ticket here.
It's like a Greyhound?
Yeah.
So you got off the bus right here, but I-95, at the Circle K there around that area?
Sure did. Walked all the way here. Thinking maybe I would see people that I knew here from a long time ago, but nobody.
So without transportation, you do have a bike.
Yes.
And you got your feet. How do you look for work?
Walk in, hey, you guys doing any hiring? Have any applications? I'm willing to work. Anything you have would help.
Some people are a little judgmental, and they'll say to me, oh, there's jobs everywhere, blah, 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 blah. But they're not thinking from the point of view of a homeless person. How would you find those? You got to find Wi-Fi for your phone. Then you're limited how you can search on your phone.
Yes.
You know, all these things. You know, when you're sitting from behind, you know, your dining room table, and you're able to look through a phone book and the internet and what, you know, yeah, of course. Then it's easier to find something. You know, but from where you're at in your situation, it's kind of hard.
It is.
So what kind of work have you done in the past?
Most of my life I've spent time landscaping, lawn maintenance, a lot of interior painting. I really don't have a skill or a trade or much of an education.
Do you have a high school diploma?
No.
So you've never been to a trade school, no college? How about, are you a veteran?
No.
Have you never been in the military?
Never been in the military.
Okay. What is the last grade that you completed?
7th grade.
Okay.
Yes.
And where did you go to school there?
I went to high school in Kokomo, Indiana. Went to grade school in Kokomo, Indiana, and some elementary in Kokomo, Indiana also. I said, you know what, my mother got sick. Again, lost her of cancer, which enabled me, I had to take all my time out of school just to be at the hospital with her, take care of her. In and out of school, you know, my teacher would bring my work to me every day, come and pick it up. And we finally lost her in '91. I didn't see any point at the time in going back to school because I was just, you know, lost everything that ever meant anything to me. It was my mother.
And how about your situation with your father?
My father, I never met him. I don't know if he's still alive or not, just by the stories my family has told me. I really don't know.
So how come you're, you know, bottom of the barrel homeless? How come one of your family or friend, well, you said you've never met your dad, your mom is deceased. How come none of your family has taken you in? Do you have any family that would take you in?
No, and the reason for that is because, you know, they spend a lot of their time 24/7 drinking and drugging, and that's just not the kind of life that I choose. I want something better than just that. And, you know, we didn't see eye to eye on that, so we really haven't spoken in a lot of years.
Do you have any family or friends that are here in Titusville? No.
I don't.
So you may or may not still have your wife's parents may still be alive and they may still be in Titusville, but you don't know.
I'm thinking they probably moved away back to New York where her parents were from. I don't know. I honestly don't.
What kind of a relationship did you have with them?
It was kind of rocky at first, but the more they got to know me and they saw how good I was with their daughter, how much I loved her, took care of her, they really warmed up to me pretty good. Got to the point where I actually started calling them mom and dad. Would call me like clockwork every day, call, check on me, need anything. And I don't hear that anymore, and those are things that I miss the most, you know.
So you're desperately looking for work, and
Yes.
you're pretty much willing to do anything.
Anything.
You've done manual labor most of your life.
Yes.
You do have some things going for you. You have your Social Security card.
Yes.
You have your ID.
Yes.
You have a state ID.
Yes.
So those are things that, are really, really positive, because there's a lot of people here on the street that don't. The other things you got going for you is you don't drink and you don't drug. The downside is you don't have a driver's license, never had one.
Exactly.
Okay.
I would love the opportunity to get one.
Okay. So where are you sleeping at night? How do you get some rest? Are you sleeping in the woods, a tent?
It's in the woods. My tent's a little bit flooded right now.
So you do have a tent?
Yeah, if it's a little chewed up, but it's a place for me to lay my head at night. I get ate up by mosquitoes, but I'm not being hassled by the law. I'm safe. And right now, that's pretty much the only thing I care about is staying safe.
Yeah, right. No, I agree. And how about how do you keep clean? How do you wash your clothes? Where do you wash your clothes?
I come here to the bathrooms. I'll shave. A lot of times I'll have a 5-gallon bucket of water. I'll even put my swim trunks on and jump in the river.
Right here in the Indian River.
Right here in the Indian River.
Grab a little bar of soap and off you go, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
It's very cold, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I can imagine. Wow.
And then I'll sit and dry off, and I'll ride back to my tent and try to get some rest. I do still attend my AA meetings till this very day.
So even though you're 10 years clean and sober, you still go to AA?
Every single day, because I have to remind myself every day that I am an alcoholic, and I always will be one. It's a deadly disease, but it's also a work in progress. I just had to have the willpower, to want to give it up, and with my higher power being God, man. Without him, I'm lost. I really am. And that too is how I managed to keep positive about a lot of things that aren't going so great, because when bad things happen, there's a lot of good that comes out of it too. And I truly believe that.
Have you received any help? Do you receive food stamps? Do you get any government assistance?
No.
Do you have this thing known on the street as Obamacare? Do you have Obamacare? No. So you have no health care. How about one of those things known on the street as an Obama phone? One of those free phones from the government?
I just got this one, not a government phone. I got this when I was in Oklahoma for $34, and then I bought a $50 prepaid Verizon card. So I've got till the 8th of next month, and I'll be.
So you're hoping for that phone call for a job or something,
yes,
right? Okay.
Any opportunity that anybody be willing to give me a place to stay, a job, I'd be most grateful. Most grateful. I can't handle much more out here. It's not the life for me. I'm 42 years old, and I'm not getting any younger.
Right. Have you gone to any of the faith-based places, any churches? Have you asked them for help? And what are they saying to you?
A lot of them I've been turned away because of either they're overfilled or their budget stretched thin enough as it is. Just things like that. And, I have to understand it from their point of view, too. Because times are hard for everybody. Not sure exactly what else to say on that category.
I totally get it. So, how are you making it day to day? What are you eating? How are you eating?
Some days I don't. There's times like at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'll go to my 7 a.m. meeting, and that's where I'll have my coffee, and I might have a few refreshments. They sit out.
So sometimes you might have a donut or a bagel or something at the AA meeting. So that's a positive thing too. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to join my Facebook page. It's called Homeless in Titusville.
Love to.
And what I would like for people to do is, if they know of a job, they have a job, they want to give you some kind of opportunity, for them to reach out, join the Homeless in Titusville page, or if you're already a member, go ahead and put it up there, put a post on, and what kind of work that you can offer William. He's willing to take anything. He's done manual labor all his life. Or you guys can friend me, which is KEITHWOHR. It's Keith War on Facebook. You can send me a private message. Maybe you have some things that might help him out. What are some of the things that you're struggling right now? Is there anything that you need right now? Is there a clothing item, or is there a health care concern that you have?
Most right now, I think now I definitely need some dental work.
So dental work. So what's going on with your teeth?
They're in bad shape. I never took care of them like I should. I get abscessed. They're all broken and they hurt. I hurt every day because of it. A lot of major surgery that needs to be done to have because.
So you need major dental work. Yeah.
Clothing. I'd love to have some clean clothes, but I don't have a way to do my laundry and everything.
So how many shirts do you own?
Maybe 4.
4 shirts. How many pairs of pants?
Like 2.
2. Okay. And you have shoes? Decent pair of shoes right now?
Yeah, I got these and a pair of boots.
So what size shirt do you wear?
A large.
You wear a large. And how about your pants? What's your waist size?
Anywhere between 32 34 might be my waist size. Okay. 32, 33 my length.
Okay. And your shoe size? What's your?
It's an 11.
11. Okay. All right. Cool, man. So before we go, if any of your family or friends or somebody that you knew out there were to see this video, do you have any message for any of them?
I still love it, and there ain't a day go by that I don't think about y'all. I could definitely use the help, but anyone that's hearing this or watching this, an opportunity for a place to live, a job, anything, I'd be most grateful.
And is there anything that we didn't touch on that you feel is important that you would like people to know before we go?
I would have to say, if you find yourself in this situation, it's no fun. If you have the chance or the opportunity to get off these streets, please do so. This is no place, this is no life for nobody.
Yeah. Well, look, man, I appreciate you taking a minute to let us get to know you, doing the interview. And for those of you watching, like I said, you guys can friend me on Facebook. You guys can leave me a message or ask a question on YouTube. I will get back to you. And subscribe to the channel. That really helps. And as always, thanks for watching.